Are you recording?
Yes, I am.
Greetings, everyone, YouTubers. This is KamishaRa from KamishaRa's Corner, and I told you I was going to be traveling. I am in Charlotte, North Carolina, with my lovely family. Yes.
Do I need lipstick?
Londa.
I need lipstick, right?
That's her too. Oh my God. This is my mama, and that's my sister, Londa.
Gotta get some
I'm right
lipstick.
here.
And that's my other sister. Turn the camera around so you can show yourself. That's my sister too. She's on the camera. So we are making soap in Charlotte. So I'm the only one that's gonna be making the soap. They just gonna be kind of watching. So I have prepackaged everything. So even my water, that's not, it says creamsicle, it's not creamsicle, it's water. This is my oils. Everything is pre-weighed because you know when you're making soap you gotta weigh everything out by weight. But I did all that. And here is my lye. So I'm just gonna ask. Oh, I got a good jacket. Oh, mommy needs a jacket. Ma, I told you get your coat. You know you be cold. She be cold.
Oh, lipstick. Ow.
She's so stupid. And see, okay, the wind is blowing that way, so I want you to stand this side because the fumes might blow that way. Oh, you got fumes? Let me see.
Yes, lie.
Oh, sorry. Did I walk in front of it? I'm so sorry.
Yes, you did.
No, that's okay. So we are adding our water. So now, since we're on the go, we are not going to be using any equipment. So it's going to be a bunch of. Why am I trying to spout that out? What's wrong with me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm making a half a pound of soap.
Half a pound of soap.
Yes, a half a pound of soap.
I'm gonna be the North Carolina translator.
Oh my Lord! Is she gonna say it with an accent? Are you gonna say it with an accent? Kitty?
So, half a pound of soap.
So we gonna put
Is that the lie?
Yes, this is a lie I'm adding.
It's
So
not a lie. She's using lye.
There might be some fumes coming that way, Kitty. So you might not want to stand
Yeah.
too far.
And Mom,
Oh, sorry.
we're outside, but
And the reason why this is not clear and it's kind of turning a little yellow because there was little bits of remnants of oil in that bottle. It doesn't usually do that. Oh wait, sorry. It doesn't usually do that.
What kind of soap are we? What kind of soap are we making?
Oh gosh, she's so silly. So this is cold processed soap. That oil, the scent says lavender, but it's not a pure lavender to be honest.
What did you say? Cold process?
It's called cold process.
Cold process.
Yes, but it's not cold. That's like the name is kind of bit of a
deceiving.
deceiving. Yes,
Because the lye, when you put it in that
when you
water,
make
gets
soap-
hot.
Yeah, when you make soap from scratch, even though it's called cold processing, it's called cold processing because here, step back, Mom. I'm smelling it. This way. I don't want you to catch your breath. Yeah. Okay, I'm smelling it. That's why. I
Lye
don't want
has
you to catch it.
fumes.
Lye has fumes.
Oh, yeah, I smell it.
Yeah, I don't want that to.
Oh, that smells like a perm.
Well,
Oh,
that's
no,
what
it's
they
worse
use.
over there.
Yeah, because it's blowing that way. Sit down on the chair right there.
Ooh,
Because
yes.
that's what they use to straighten your hair.
Yeah, that smells
When
like
they
a
make
perm.
It,
It smells like a perm.
so, if you're making lye on the go, what you don't want to do is keep this stuff afterwards.
Yeah.
The one in the bag that have the lye in it. So we're gonna get rid of that one time. Okay?
Tie it up good and discard it properly.
Yeah. You can tie that up, put it away. So what I did was go to the dollar store and I got some stuff. I already have some stuff at home, but I just wanted to use stuff that I don't usually keep at home. So I just bought another spatula. This was $1. This was $1. A pack of 4 of these are $1. This is what I'm actually gonna put the soap in.
Oh, yeah, that's strong.
Oh,
How come you don't have a
And I
mask
just
on?
packed up. I have a mask. Oh, you mean to cover your mouth? You can work with one of those, but you don't have to. I'm okay. I'll just walk away. Like if it's blowing this way, I go to this side. If it's blowing that way.
She's a professional.
But I usually do it in my house, and I have the fan blowing in one direction, and I'm standing on the opposite side of that,
Oh.
and with my window open. Yeah.
Did
So
you
this is this color because they were like in my bottle that had water. It had remnants of oil in there, so that's the reason why it's that color. Normally, the lye water that you make is not this color at all.
Oh.
It would be
It's
clear.
it's clear.
Huh.
Yeah. This has some remnants of oil, so there's actually a little bit of fragrance oil in here.
Yum. That's why it smells good.
Yeah, you smell it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fragrance oil. Because this was a bottle that had fragrance oil in it, and I just put the water in here and I didn't clean it out.
Now, how long does it take for it to turn into soap?
Now, it'll take about 24 to 48 hours for it to go through what the process called saponification. That's the chemical reaction that turns the live water and your fatty acids, which is your oils, into soap. Hey, how y'all doing? Happy Turkey Day. That's my mama's neighbors. When you in the South, you can't say hi. You gotta say hey. Okay.
Oh boy.
That's the Southern lingo.
Is
So
that
I
true,
know
Kitty?
Lies.
I know my lingo.
Oh, now I can really smell it still.
Oh, really? Go to the other side, mommy.
Oh,
The fumes should be good. You might be smelling the oil.
oh, you think so?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now that we have put the
That lime will eat
water
your spatula.
with the lye,
And she asked a good question. The lye goes good with like this kind of heavy duty plastic that you would use to cook with. You can use. I wouldn't mix lye in this kind of plastic. Too thin.
Because it's too thin.
This one is thick enough to mix the lye in. Silicone you can use. You can use stainless steel. I have a spoon in here that's stainless steel. You can use that. And you can use wood, but you gotta be careful with that because it will eventually eat away at the wood. So you don't really want to use wood. Never use aluminum.
Why?
Aluminum and lye does not mix. It'll cause a noxious gas to come up and it can knock you out. Yeah.
Oh, because the chemical reaction.
no aluminum.
No aluminum. So once the lye water is all mixed up and everything is really warm to the touch, I'm not letting y'all touch it because I don't want any bits of lye to be on y'all. I'm the only one with gloves on.
What kind of gloves are you using?
I'm using regular latex gloves. You can get them from the dollar store. They have them in the dollar store. They have them in the hardware store. And let me see what else I use.
If you're latex sensitive, you can use neoprene gloves.
Now, this oils I already thinned out. You can use oil in the store. This is actually corn oil and coconut oil. That's it. That's all. You can use regular oil that you buy in your store and make a decent soap. You want to run it through what's called a soap calculator. So you want to make sure that you weighed all the oils out so you know how much lye that you need to use for the amount of oils that you're using. So everything was pre-weighed out before I got here.
So math is involved.
So I wouldn't have to bring my scale. You ain't doing the math. The scale is doing the math, and the soap calculator is doing the math.
Right.
I ain't doing the math.
Yeah, but you still have to be
You're right. Math is
knowledgeable
Mm-hmm.
So
of
I'm adding
numbers.
My oils. I'm wondering if this is big enough. I just realized it's not.
Okay,
You gonna
you're
add
adding
all
the
of it?
oil.
Yes.
Yes, because she weighed it out carefully. It's big enough. There we go.
Now,
Ooh.
if
Can I ask, is that going to be a super fatted soap?
I did add a little bit extras for super fat. And what does that mean? What does super fat mean?
What
Super
does
fat
it
just
mean?
means, well, it takes a certain amount of live water to change a certain amount by weight of oil into soap. So I'm just going to throw out a hypothetical number. Let's say we have 3 grams by weight of oil. And let's say it takes 1 gram of live water by weight to turn 3 grams of oil into soap. If I have, say, 5 grams of oil, then those extra 2 grams that are floating around is considered super fatty. So since I have more grams of oil than I need to actually make the soap. So if it took, like, say, 3 grams of oil to 1 gram of live water by weight, but to turn into soap. Let's say that number is correct. But now I have 5 grams of oil. Now those extra 2 grams are going to be like extra oils that are going to be in the soap, which is really good because that means that is going to be extra moisturizing effects in your soap and extra conditioning depending on what the value of that soap already has. It might have conditioning values. It may have...
That's getting thicker.
Yeah, it's going to get thicker. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, the lye cooks it.
It's not cooking it right now. It's not really cooking. It'll take 24 hours after it comes to a point that's called trace. I should have bought my whisk. I'm gonna be here mixing for a minute. So we're not gonna mix the whole time, but we'll.
You're
Come
waiting
back.
for trace.
Yeah.
And
You
what
mix
is
it
that?
until it trace. So what is the indication that you have reached trace?
Well, if you're at a really, really thick tray, one, it'll start to do like what it's doing. It'll thicken up. It usually goes from, not usually, it'll go from like the clear color like this is more translucent looking to more like a cloudy looking color. But most important, it won't separate. The oil and the live water has totally incorporated into each other and it doesn't separate.
Okay.
So you can have a trace that is a thin. Why are you so close, by the way? That is so thin.
I'm trying to get the texture of
She's getting close-ups of the texture of the soap.
Yeah.
And you, at some point, you'll be able to do this and you'll be able to see like lines left on the top of the soap, which is called trace. The trace of the soap is left behind. That's where that name comes from.
Oh.
But it can be as thin as this, or it can be as thick as like pudding. So the trace can be different levels of trace.
So how many years have you been a soap maker? Is that what we call you?
Yes, I am a soap maker.
Okay.
I'm a handmade soap maker, and body care maker as well. I make hair care, I make facial care, I make skin care. I've been doing this since, well, I started off doing melt and pour. You mentioned that in style, which is good, that you did soap making before, but you did melt and pour. One of the things I like to do when I'm teaching my class, and one of the reasons why I like teaching, is because a lot of times you'll see people say, oh yeah, I've made soap before, but I use the soap that has no lye. But if you're making soap, you have to use lye. But what you did was called melt and pour soap. Now that's actually more like a glycerin base. So melt and pour or glycerin base is the same thing. It has a high glycerin content, very good for the skin. But it's not really soap making. It's more like soap designing.
Thanksgiving.
It is.
Because the soap is actually already made.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm bringing home some pies.
Uh-oh. We got neighbor bringing home some pies. We might have to go get some pie.
You got sweet
No,
potato
you have to
over
ask
there?
her to. You have to ask.
Potato pie and
Uh-oh.
whatever it is, cherry cheesecake.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll be right over. Got cherry cheesecake
And sweet potato pie.
Yum.
Uh-oh.
I can't quite get that.
Uh-oh.
In a can, I got it.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Turkey and pie. That sounds good to me.
Yum.
Oh, yes.
Yes, thicken even more. It's a little bit more cloudy. I'm going
Let's
to try to
get a
get it a
close
little
up of
thicker.
that. Let's see. Can we see the trace now?
I don't know
Oh,
if you
okay.
can see it.
Not
It
yet.
depends on the angle that the camera's at, whether or not you can see
Okay.
it. Yeah, I can see it. Like at this
Okay.
angle, I can see. I don't know if the camera can pick up on
Try
it.
it.
Now he lives around the corner from us.
Oh
You
yeah.
can see a little bit of a trace.
What's
So it's
that red
actually
thing in there?
at trace. That's the oils.
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm not blending it.
Uh,
Yeah, that's the remnants of the oil that was in the live water. Because
Okay.
remember what I was. Yeah.
so, it sounds like from when you started in the beginning to now that you've become more knowledgeable of the soap making process.
Actually, I have. I became more knowledgeable. The more, I mean, you become more knowledgeable about different ways of doing different types of designs. The basics pretty much stay the same.
But when you
let
when
me
you
finish that
talked
first
about
thing.
the ratio thing, that that I want to think that you have to understand the math in it.
Well, if you're actually doing the calculations yourself, yeah. But I don't know if there are any soap makers out there that do the calculations themselves. That's called sap value or saponification value of each oil. Each oil has its own saponification value. So each oil weight has its own value that says, okay, it needs this much live water to change this particular oil by itself into soap. Now, somebody has to figure it out. So there are
Right.
people who have figured it out, but most soap makers nowadays, they use what's called a soap calculator. That'll do that calculation for you. Can you do the math? Yes. Do I know how to do the math? No, I use a soap calculator. I don't actually know how to
But
figure
your
out the live
vocabulary
weight.
has increased and your knowledge base has increased.
Yeah,
on
once you start
making
doing it,
soap.
you start to know what is called soap lingo.
Yeah, I like the
CP,
saponification.
Yeah.
I'm going to be using that
Those
more
silly.
often.
But what I was saying before, so what she was actually doing, the glycerin-based soap and the
Mhm.
melt and pour base soap, that's more like soap design. You're actually working with soap that's already made. So you're working with already made soap and you're kind of designing it. You can add new ingredients. You can put color. You can make nice, different, pretty designs. You can do swirls.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of stuff, and it's quick because it hardens in like an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Doesn't take any time.
Right. It doesn't take much time. This you have to let cure. So, mommy, this soap is staying with you, and Kitty. And you can have some, and Kitty will have some, and y'all will unmold it. I'm going to tell you what to do to get it out of this mold. Because this is flexible. This is plastic, and it's flexible, so we should be able to kind
Pop it out.
of push it and maneuver to get it out of the mold.
And then you have to cut it.
And then you could just use it.
Oh,
So
Yeah,
this
and you
soap
can
is
cut
staying
it. Will you be able to slice
Yeah,
it?
you'll be able to slice it afterwards. Yeah, but what we can probably
Cut
do
it.
is before
Cut
we
it.
leave, because we're gonna be here for a couple of days. Before I leave, I could unmold it, so you don't have to worry about doing that.
What do you use to cut your soap with?
Anything you want, you can use a knife. Because at that point, it's soap. Yeah.
No more
So
lye
you
in there.
have to use lye to make soap, but there's no lye in a well-made bar of soap. You can't make soap without lye, but there's no lye in a well-made bar of soap. And that's how I start off all of my classes. With that line.
What does that mean?
You can't make soap without lye, but there's no lye in a well-made bar of soap. In other words, if you don't make the soap properly, if you don't measure it properly, you can end up with lye at the end in the bar of soap. But once you measure it properly, that won't happen. And you won't end up with lye. Now, can you still use that soap? I wouldn't use that soap on my body, but you might be like if you made soap and it didn't come out right and it's lye in the end process, wouldn't use that soap on your body because it can burn your skin.
Right.
how did you
But
know
you could
this?
well, they have pH strips. They have a thing called a liquid called. I never use that liquid. I always use pH strips called Phenonip. If you're a soap maker and you know the name of that liquid, put it in the put the name of it. But I believe it's called Phenonip. And that's the name of the liquid. You put the drop, and if it's clear, it's good. If it's pink, it's not good. It turns a certain color if it's not good.
The same way when you relax your hair. If you don't get all of the
That's right.
relaxer out,
When you put
and
that
you put that
cream
stuff
or
on
whatever
your
in
hair,
it.
it's gonna turn pink. That means you didn't get all of
You
it
didn't
out,
get it all out.
and
It's
you
probably
can
the
burn
same
your
stuff.
hair out and burn your scalp.
Because it'll continue to be
Correct.
on your
It'll-
hair and
it'll
continue
continue
do
to
what
burn.
It does. Exactly. That's right. It's probably the same ingredients that
It
they
is.
use
If
in
it's
that.
lye
Yeah.
in there,
Yeah.
yeah, because it's gonna get.
Do
your
we
hair
have a
straight.
stronger trace to show?
A thicker. Oh yeah, it's definitely
Yes,
thicker.
it
It's
is
very
now.
thick now. This is definitely.
Ooh.
So you
Oh
can
yeah, I
see.
see the trace. Oh, see the line?
It's like it can get as thick, like real thick, like pudding.
Right.
Now I'm letting it get a little thick because I'm gonna add some fragrance to this soap.
Ooh, fragrance.
Is it lemongrass?
It's actually. Oh, it is lemongrass. It's not in a lemongrass fragrance bottle.
That's
It
okay.
says lavender because my lavender was finished.
But I
So
love
I just
lemongrass.
reuse this grass, and I have a big bottle of lemongrass, so I just put some in here. So this is, sorry, it's not lemongrass. No, I didn't put lemongrass. Can you tell me what scent? Can you tell what scent it is? Some of that scent might be on the outside of the bottle, Mom.
I don't know.
Smell it, kitty.
Smell it.
Smell
Kitty.
it again.
Tell me.
Do I need coffee beans?
No. That's if you're clearing your palate.
Let me see.
I could,
That is
I can
strong.
smell it.
Yeah, go wash your hands because you don't.
Here,
want
give it to me.
that on your hands.
That's like that stuffed tea tree oil.
It's not tea
not
tree
tea
oil.
tree. I don't know what it is.
What is that?
Lavender. It's not lavender.
It's
What
You
is
know
it?
it, right?
yeah, it's
Yeah, turn the camera on the hustle. You can see the look on her face. Oh my gosh.
it actually smells like rose patchouli.
You know
Patchouli
why?
rose?
It's a
Patchouli.
weird smell because the fragrance that was in there already, which
It's
wasn't a
in
pure
there.
lavender, has mixed with it.
So it's like a lavender patchouli rose.
It's
I
not-
like
it.
it.
Does kind of smell like that, but it's not. It's actually just cinnamon.
Stop sniffing
Oh,
that,
that's right. I do
It's
smell.
cinnamon.
Stop sniffing
It's
that.
only cinnamon. Yeah.
Stop.
Oh,
Stop it.
Oh, can I have it? Can I have it?
Oh, okay.
please?
Yeah.
Can I have it?
Here you go.
Can I have it?
Here you go.
Yeah, it's getting thicker. The
It's
longer you let it
cinnamon.
sit, the thicker it'll get. I could just let it sit and it'll get thicker and thicker. It's cinnamon.
Now here's the
Is that
adding of the
cinnamon?
cinnamon.
Yeah, it's cinnamon. But you know what? The smell, because remember I had like a blend with
stuff in it.
lavender in here
Oh,
already.
okay.
So it's kind of mixed with that. So everything is already measured out.
I
so
do
I know
have
I'm going to
lemongrass
put
in mine.
2 of these in here.
Ooh.
So what does that equal to?
Hmm?
How many? That's
This
an ounce
is-
or what?
This is actually 1 tablespoonful.
Oh, that's a tablespoon.
Yeah, that first one was kind of small. I got a little bit left. I don't need any more than that. And I'm going to keep mixing it. Now, certain fragrances will
Turn colors.
thicken it up even more. And as you see, it's starting to thicken. So I'm going to mix this in as quickly as I can. And I'm going to put it in the mold before it gets too thick. And certain fragrances, because it has its own color, will change the color of the soap. You see it thickening up even more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hope it's not going to rise. We'll see. Uh-oh.
It's not gonna what?
It's a thing called ricing where it starts, and I'm not using a stick blender, so I will not be able to get that ricing out if it does. I hope it doesn't.
Spell that word, please.
It's called ricing, where the batter doesn't mix well, and it starts to look like rice.
Looks like curdle.
Yeah, it's kind of like a
curdles.
curdling. Yeah, and I'm like looking at it like I hope it doesn't do that because I don't have a stick blender with me, and I'm gonna try to give it a little more
Oh,
agitation.
there it is.
I think you got it.
I see it right in the middle, Moan.
It's more.
See it in the middle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I forgot to bring my whisk. A whisk would have been better. You can get
Instead
a little
of
bit more
stirring it with the
agitation without
spatula.
worrying about splashing. It gives better agitation. Yeah. And I kind of forgot that.
Soap maker tool. Whisk.
Yeah. Silicone whisk. Stainless steel whisk. Make sure it's not aluminum. I mean, most cooking ware is stainless steel anyway, so you usually don't have much to worry about. Or silicone.
So why soap making? What's your enjoyment of
Well, I
that?
first started out doing. I wish I had a stick blender now, because it's not mixing the way, or at least a whisk. It's not mixing the way I would want it to. You know what? I think
Is that part of the...
that looks like part of this thing.
Remember I told you
Yeah.
something red is in there?
Yeah, I
Is that
thought it
part of
was-
the spatula?
I thought it was that, but I
Oh.
think this is part of the spatula. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
it looks like
looking
part of the spatula.
I thought it was the oil, but the more I'm looking at it, I'm like, it looks like if there were rubber that was coming off and it came off in there. Yeah.
Pull that up again so I can see the side of it.
Oh, there goes another one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one on that.
You got
side,
paper
too.
towel, mommy?
Yeah.
Let me get a paper towel. Oh, look at that. Yeah.
The spatula is falling apart.
Oh, that's not good.
No, because it's $1.
No, I get everything from the dollar store.
Oh, must be different in New York.
No, I got it from New York.
Oh, what? You should have got it from Charlotte.
Oh,
See how I turned that around quick.
whatever.
Whatever. So why do you like making soap, Mo?
I first started making body care products first.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was making melt and pour soap.
Okay.
Oh, it's not like it's.
Oh, something does smell
Can you
like
turn
it.
it off?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, mommy.
And move it off
That's
the
good. That's
fire,
good.
Mom.
I'll get it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mama.
that's done.
Why do you like it? I don't understand.
I don't know. It's addicting. Oh my gosh. I'm like addicted to soap making. I can't tell you why.
Oh,
I don't know. I just know I am.
it's like a tattoo. Once
Yeah,
you do
once
it,
you
you want to
get
get
one, you
another
can't-
one.
Yeah, people who what they say get the plastic surgery.
Mm-hmm.
They say that's addicting.
Yeah, it is. So they
It's
say.
terrible. Okay, I'm pouring it.
Ooh, it's done.
Pouring. Step back, Sandy. I don't want it to splash on you.
No, it's not gonna splash because
Thick. Looks like pudding.
Yeah. Well, don't you try to eat that.
Looks like
Do not try this at home unless you
Banana
know what
pudding.
you're doing.
I could have did more than just that.
You did a good job.
No, I said I could have did more
Oh.
than just this two, but that's okay.
You have 2 big bars of soap, and then when you slice it,
Well, you can cut it.
you'll have
You don't have to leave it.
5 or 6 bars.
A whole lot of bars. Probably cut it into
What
8.
is with the squirrel?
You're outside. You're in their house.
She's like, what is with the squirrel? We are outside. You showing the squirrel?
He's behind the tree.
Mm-hmm. That is not
It's
how you
a
call a squirrel,
squirrel.
ma'am.
It's not a a cat.
It's not a dog either.
Y'all hear the birdies?
Okay.
It looks like pudding.
Now,
That's
yes,
okay.
exactly. It gets quick. It looks thick like pudding.
It smells delicious.
So I'm just gonna clean everything up.
Cinnamon pudding. There you go. Where are we again, guys?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yep, I'm done.
NC.
Don't touch.
You're in the
NC.
Queen City.
We're in the Queen City,
Queen City.
Charlotte,
Queen
North
Charlotte.
Carolina.
She
We're
was black. Queen Charlotte.
with KamishaRa, and we are at KamishaRa's corner in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes, the
And
corner has moved.
she is the
Travel.
traveling soap
Soaper.
maker,
The traveling soaper.
the traveling soaper.
Where will I be traveling next?
One never knows. Do one. Where?
Where will I be traveling next?
I
I will be traveling next.
Where?
But where am I going to be making soap next?
And
Okay,
what
guys,
scent?
thank you all for watching, and we will see you on the next
She
video.
did
Don't
an
forget
excellent job.
to like,
We're proud of her.
subscribe, and share the video. Don't forget to hit the notifications bell so that when I upload my next video, where I'm soaping next,
That's
you'll
right.
be sure to get it. Hey.
Have a bubbly day.
Using gloves, I'm like, was this food or?
No.
No, I'm making soap.